What's going on, guys? It's Cliffy here. Welcome back to another episode of the Big Bash. Before we go and get any further in this video, let's make sure you drop a like. Let's aim on this video for 100 likes. If you are new, please do remember to hit that subscribe button. But today we're back. Sixers taking on the Hurricanes, who actually played each other just the other day. It wasn't too long ago that these two teams did meet in the actual Big Bash, and I believe, well, actually I know for a fact that the Hurricanes did come out on top there, scoring 200. They have been batting well, the Canes. Timmy Payne especially. It can't be long until he is back into the National, and just into the T20 setup, I'd have to say. I mean, he scored, I think, 90 in the last game against the Stars, which the Hurricanes lost. And then he scored a 50 as well, I believe, against the Sixers. So he'll be looking to carry on that good form. Now, a lot of people have said in my comments, Cliffy, can you put Clive Rose in? So that is exactly what I've gone and done. Today we have a massively heavy bowling side. So I'm going to really need to go and try and really just restrict the Sixers to a very low total, because I think I've only got like 4 out-and-out batsmen possibly in the side, which is a real concern. Like, hopefully I can go and, as I said, we just need to go and try and keep it. Oh, that's gone straight through Malenko. What's happening there? Basically just need to keep them to a decent score. Just need to try and keep things down, as we've done so far in this over, only going for 6. If we're chasing somewhere around 30, I'll be happy with that. But I have made a few changes. As I said, I've brought Clive Rose in. I've taken out Don Michael because that guy, for some reason, just cannot score runs in T20s whatsoever. He's played 5 games. I'm not sure if they're all for the Canes, but he's played 5 T20 games in the Big Bash. Hasn't scored a single run yet, so that is a bit depressing on his part. But hopefully we are, well, we're not going to need him today because, first of all, he's not playing. So we've got Clive Rose. I've got Cam Boyce still, so I'm going to go with the twin spin, probably from the next over, and I do still have the wild thing left to come as well, along with Hamish Kingston and Dan Christian. So if we were actually playing a full-fledged 2020 international, or sorry, just a full-fledged T20 game, we would be in pretty good shape, to be honest, because the amount of bowling options we have, if someone was getting taken to or someone was getting hit around, as I said, we do have a lot of options. Dan Christian, I don't think, is actually bowled for the Canes in the Big Bash this year. I think he's more in the side, he's almost in the side just as a pure batsman. And, you know, he is one of those guys that is very destructive. A guy who, you know, possibly could be considered a little bit unlucky that he didn't play a few more times for Australia, especially in the shorter formats of the game. T20, when he is on, he is a very, very good player. So, but I guess, you know, when it comes to Big Bash time and when it comes to Australian national duty, you know, the Australians' loss is Hobart's gain. And that's the same for a lot of sides. Like, I was talking to my friend who was a Melbourne Stars fan, who we obviously played last game. And, you know, looking at their team every year is very, very good. And this year is no exception. But I think what is probably more important this year is that when the one-dayers come around, that probably the only players that the Stars are going to lose is, you know, probably James Faulkner. You'd have to put him in the limited overs side. Possibly Glenn Maxwell, depending on how he goes with his form. He did pretty well in the first game for the Stars. We're going to bring in Clive Rose and Cam Boyce. So we're going to go for those spin twins. But as I said, a lot of options compared to what we have had recently. So hopefully the spin can go and get the job for us. No glasses for Clive Rose. That's a bit of a shame, but that's all right. We will go and carry on. But yeah, back to the Stars. That they'll lose Fawkes. As I said, maybe Glenn Maxwell, and I think there was one other. I can't quite remember who it was. But majority of their side is going to stay good. And they are going to probably welcome back, I'd say, Peter Hanscom as well from Test duty. So there's another very good domestic player that they will be welcoming back into the side. So it does mean that they are still going to have the bulk of the side. And I think that's the difference, you know, between the teams that do well and the teams that don't do quite so well in the Big Bash. I mean, you look at Perth. Perth is a side that, in recent times, to both One Day and T20, they have lost quite a few players when it has come. But it's the depth that they have in that side. You know, when those players drop out, other players stand up. You know, the likes of Ashton Agar, Ashton Turner, Sam Whiteman, again, has been very good. They've only played a couple of games. And it does help if you have an overseas player who can stick around for majority of the tournament. And I mean, the Hurricanes have got a pretty good one in I don't know what we're doing with this field, but we're just going to keep it as it is. The Canes have obviously got Stuart Broad, who isn't involved in the England national setup at the moment. And I'm just trying to think who else. Luke Wright's another one for the Stars. Again, going back to them, going back to Melbourne, that is going to be around, for most of the season. You wouldn't expect him to get selected You wouldn't expect him to get selected for the England side. And there we go. We pick up our first wicket. So Ed Cowan gone. Clive Rose just seems to pick up wickets. I don't know how, but he just does seem to get wickets on just somehow. I'm not really too concerned. Stevie Smith in now. And oh, that's over as well. So now we've got Boise in. I'm really annoyed that I can't think of that other player who's going to disappear for the Stars. Just trying to think. Don't know. It'll probably come to me towards the back end of the video. Oh, God. That was always going. That was a shocking ball. I don't know what I was doing with the spin. I spun it the wrong way. But that really does annoy me. It annoys me when I'm doing a commentary, and I've read up on all this stuff, and I know what I've got a rough idea of what I'm going to say. Oh yes, woo, Cammy Boyce, that one there spinning, and Tim Payne taking a great catch behind the stumps. Michael Lum gone for 14 as well. I'm just trying to think. Quiney, Maxi, Hussey won't. Scotty Bolland might potentially get called up, but it wasn't him. It was someone else. Definitely was someone else. I can't remember. Oh! Yes! Madison's carrying on his test form into the Big Bash, boys. He can't score runs to save himself. It's almost like he's in the side. I made a joke about this the other day, that he's almost in the side as just like a number 6 who's going to bowl a little bit. There's the hat-trick ball. It's been hit down the ground by Silk, but those two balls have really changed the context of the game. We've got Smith and Silkin, two players who are very new at the crease. And that is exactly what we want. But I'm guessing, for Hobart, possibly players that they could lose to the Australian limited overs side. Potentially looking at someone like Tim Payne, who is now back in a bit of form. Cam Boyce could possibly go and look at playing in the... I'm going to use... actually, I don't know if that's going to be Kingston. Oh, it is Kingston, good. Yeah, Tim Payne, possibly Cam Boyce to the T20 side, but apart from that, their team is going to stay pretty much the same. So, again, that's not the worst thing in the world to keep that majority of the team together and to keep the group. But again, it is basically down to the depth that you have in that team. There's no point going in and just having, in a tournament like the Big Bash, and this is the same for the Super Smash in New Zealand, that... excuse me, that, having a good starting 11 is all well and good, but when you do lose players to international duties or injuries and stuff like that, it does make it quite difficult. I mean, the Northern Knights, they're a fine example. I watched them play yesterday. They played against Auckland, and they have basically lost Bolt, Southey, and Santner from a couple of their games, obviously to international duty, which is a huge void to hold. Like, that's 12 overs, 12 quality overs of T20 bowling that you are missing out on. So, to replace that is a huge, huge task. And that's why you got to have those players coming through that can go and do a little bit for you. So, I was going to say, this hasn't been the worst over from Kingston, but I just thought this episode I would go and use, something a little bit different to what we have seen. Obviously, Clive Rose, a lot of people have wanted him. He was actually quite successful, and so was Cam Boyce. So, I'm going to do this as, basically, this is going to be a full Yorker. And hopefully we can try and sneak one through. But we do get a dot ball, so it's not bad. 8 coming off the last over. The Sixers finished 3 for 45 off their 5 overs. So we're going to need 9 runs and over from the get-go. And again, with this side we have selected today, it really is going to come down to Payne and Sangakkara at the top, just to get us through. And I think without them, or if we lose one of these two early, it could be very difficult for us. As I said, I think we've got George Bailey coming in next. And then after that, I think we've got John O'Well, who I don't even think is playing for the Canes anymore. But yeah, after that, then it is going to be, I was going to say a little bit difficult, but it is going to be very, very difficult. We've got all-rounders, Dan Christian, obviously Hamish Kingston. Cam Boyce can bat, Clive Rose can bat, but we really do want to be... giving ourselves a better opportunity by getting some runs in these first couple of overs. The power. Oh, I don't even know if there's power play overs in this game because it is only 5-5, and I think the way I set it up. No, 5-5 set up already, but I don't think there's power plays anyway. I think you just have whoever outside whenever you feel like. So that's a nice shot by Payne. I was actually trying to move that one around the corner as more of a pull shot, but instead it has gone all the way off the back foot. It is a shot that you don't see very often. And short balls, I must say, in this game, especially in career, really have been, I was going to say a bit of a godsend, but they really have been helpful when players have been bowling short to me, especially in club cricket, because you can basically just go rock back and pull it behind square and pick up 2 almost every time. So here we go. Timmy Payne. This is what we like to see. This is more of what we like to see, boys. The aggressive side of the Canes, and they've taken 13 off Dougie Bollinger's first 4 deliveries. So this is exactly what we want to see. Oh, Timmy Payne. Love it. We can bat now, boys. Starting to go a bit more aggressive because I am starting to get a bit more of the timing and all that sorted. We have seen a change in the field now. Deep mid-wicket has gone back. That has left us with that superb down-the-ground shot that we are so used to from Donny B14. But a good short ball from Dougie, but the damage has already been done, folks. 19 off that first over. Sangakkara hasn't even faced a ball, and in comes Joshy Hazlewood to have his first bowl of the game. So what is Sangakkara going to do here? What are we going to do with him? Damn it. That honestly was there to be put away. There's no man, well, there is actually a man at deep backward point, so that's not a bad ploy from Joshy Hazlewood, but I was looking to go and try and rock back and actually put that one through a pull shot or a hook shot, and there's another wide. So 26 off 23 already. So we are doing very, very well. I am hopefully getting a Hobart shirt in the very near future so that we can go and wear that in videos. Hit and Sangers was gone. I think that's Stevie Smith down there at mid-off, mid-on. No, it was Ed Cowan, possibly. So we've gone back to the same field. So deep mid-wicket has gone back. We've got 2 men inside the ring. Ooh! And I don't know if that's a half chance or what it is, but it was no timing at all from Timmy Payne. And it's almost gone through the fielder's hand. I think that was Michael Lum down there, who isn't playing for the Sixers this year. As I said when I did the first video of this, I can't believe that we're in video 5 already. But I did say originally that the teams may not be 100% up to date. I was basically just going and trying to get, you know, the team, basically the uniforms more than anything, and most of the players right, just so I could go and start this alongside a career mode at the start of the game, which is exactly what we've done. That one there has been picked up by T-Pain, and that's another 6. Down the ground, boys. So he moves on to, I don't even know what he's on now, 25 off 28. So he is smashing it here today. We need 17 off 19. And you are starting to get a bit of treatment too, Joshy Hazlewood. That one there, again, I'm not sure about the fielding from the guys straight down the ground. That's another one in this game that has gone straight through the bowler, but we won't talk about that too much. We will just talk about this aggressive onslaught that we have seen so far from Tim Payne, and I'm not sure who this guy is, to be honest. M. Sampson, possibly the guy who made the team, has put himself into the game. Ah, that's what we were looking for. That's what I was looking for, the ball before. Sanga picks up his first boundary of the game, first 6 as well for him, and he has played that one away. He is 8 off 4, and we do now have a deep backward point back in place. Mid-wicket is looking like the place we're going to go if it's full enough, and we can go and get over the top. But 7 off 17, we have destroyed the 6s in this game. And that one there has gone. It has been taken. So a wicket has fallen. The short ball, finally one that I actually got a hold of, that I could go and play to the leg side. And we have gone and actually held out. So George Bailey coming in now. And as we said, we've done exactly what we wanted. The batting side was very, very short of things today. And we have basically answered that with a very good performance, namely from Timmy Payne. 29 off 9 for him so far. And he has gone and got the strike back with just 6 runs required for the victory. So whether I go for the big shot here, I'm not 100% sure. But I might just try and work it through. I was going to say work it through mid-wicket. But we have gone, played that one down the ground. a little bit straighter than I probably would have liked, but we will come back for the second. And as I said, I don't know who this Sampson guy is, but he's bowling 150 clicks, so he obviously has something good going on. We've got a long off in place now. Still no one over cover, mid-wicket, and our other man out is a deep backward point. So I'm guessing, again, this is probably going to be a short ball. If we can slot it away on the leg side, that'd be good. But a swing and a miss from T-Pain. And we probably are going to have to go and take this one into the 4th over. Still just the 4 required. So if we can get the ball and get a hold of it. Whoo! Big outside edge. Is it going to go? No, it's just going to go for 1. They've got a man back there. We'll just take the 1 as well. And that's actually gone and hit into George Bailey. So common courtesy, you don't take a run there when the ball has hit you. When you're completing a run, it comes off your bat. Just don't do it. Nice! Gary is going to bowl the last over here, but it may be too little too late for even the GOAT to save the 6s in this situation. Just 4 needed, and I'm sorry, Gary, I just had to disrespect you there. Just had to disrespect you. That's gone away for 4. It's fitting that Timmy Payne has gone and hit the winning runs. He has been an absolute star for us today. He's taken us back to the winning circle after a loss last time around, and that is perfect for the Hobart Hurricanes. Tim Payne, as you would expect, man of the match for his 36 not out. We will quickly go and have a look at the table because, again, people have asked me about that. This is game number 5, so there's only 2 games left to go before we head into the semi-finals. And with just the 1 loss so far, things are looking quite good for us in this situation. So once we've got through this and loaded, we will be able to see what is going on. So as you can see, into round 6, we are now back at the top of the table. The Stars did pick up a loss, I think, against the Thunder last time around, and the Renegades have only lost 1 game as well. So there is plenty of competition for these top couple of spots, but you'd have to say with 2 games left to go, we are pretty much assured of a top 4 place. Just depends on how we go if we get a home semi and a home final, which is what ideally we are going and aiming for. Anyway, guys, I'm going to wrap things up here. Do hope you've enjoyed this video. Until next time, this is Cliffy, your king of career mode and New Zealand's #1 source of Don Bradman cricket content, signing out.